Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Saihate no Paladin Season 2, Episode 2. I somehow thought that I am more up to date with it, that, I think, what was it, today? I think today or yesterday, Episode 3 came out, and maybe I'm like one episode behind, but no, it turns out that today Episode 4 came out, and I just didn't, remember. It somehow didn't register to me that I just skipped this many episodes of this show, but I'm going to not be skipping it anymore. I hope. Hopefully it's not gonna happen. And today we are here finally with episode 2. I think I know why I kind of forgot about this show. I think that's because episode 1 didn't really feel like a beginning of a season, right? I think that's why. It somehow didn't register that a new season of this show is undergoing, because episode 1 was at best an OVA, at worst a filler episode. So I guess that's why I just completely disregarded this show in my schedule. Hopefully future episodes are gonna be better. Hopefully they're gonna be a little bit more coherent. They're gonna have a little bit more of an actual, like, overarching plot, overarching story, and they're gonna be less of a filler. But let's maybe talk about the previous episode. What happened that made it feel so much as a filler, so much like a filler. The first, not even half, the first part of the first episode, before the opening. Did we even get an opening? I don't know. Can't remember. It's been a while. But yeah, the first part of the episode was William taking care of his duties as a lord of the city. We got a nice look at the city. It's an ancient, quote-unquote, abandoned city, probably abandoned during the Demon King War. And now they are resettling there, which is great. I absolutely adore the idea of revitalizing existing cities, existing ruins that are just in a ruin, but it's better to settle there and maybe fix up the roof or make a whole new roof rather than having to build an entire village from the ground up. I absolutely love it. William has an idea on how to bring funds to the city, because they're gonna need funds to develop it. And that idea is production of paper. Instead of selling wood straight, and wood might run out soon enough because trees grow slower than they are being cut down, obviously. He thinks it would be a better idea to turn those trees into a pulp and turn that pulp into paper and sell that paper, so that for you get more money per tree, so you don't have to cut down as many of them, and there's a chance that they will grow back in enough time. You're not gonna run out of trees. That's also cool. I like it. I like the economic and city building aspect of this show. I hope we're gonna see much more of it. In general, I really like the subgenre of fantasy shows, not just isekai, but general fantasy shows of, village or town or city development. And the second part of the episode was spent with what's her face? With Robina. With Robina Goodfellow, who wanted to visit a magic academy, the Winterhold College, essentially, of this world. She went with Will into the forest. They got lost, kinda sorta. met a groundskeeper who questioned them thoroughly about their goals. Turns out, oh, the groundskeeper is really a headmaster, or I think he's just a teacher. He's not a headmaster of the school, of the academy. I'm not sure. Again, it's been like what? Almost a month since I've seen episode 1, so forgive me if I misremember some details. And he took them for a trip around the academy that was very empty. Maybe it was the weekend, maybe they had some winter break or something, so there were no students there, who knows, but it was very empty. And Robina wanted to go to the library to look for something. Will, of course, went with her, also read some books. Can't quite remember what he got out of that visit in the library. Some new knowledge. He learned about magic, right? Because he learned about the old magic from Gus, and he wanted a comparison to how magic has developed over time. So that's what he spent the time reading. Robina, meanwhile, wanted to find information about her former teammate, whose name I cannot recall, but someone she traveled with. And that girl, that teammate of hers, saved a lot of people, was a hero, essentially, to the people, but then was forgotten. And Robina just doesn't want her to be forgotten. She wants to learn as much as she can about her to create a proper song, proper entire epic about her, describing her deeds, describing her life, so that in song she lives on. Which is a very nice sentiment, I gotta say. So, in a void, it was a nice episode, right? I wouldn't have minded an episode like that in the middle of a season, but it didn't really work as a beginning of a season, right? It didn't really work to spark some curiosity. It didn't really work to create any sort of attraction. It didn't even end with any sort of a cliffhanger as far as I remember, so there wasn't that moment, that element of awaiting the next episode because what's gonna happen next. And I had that moment with most first episodes of the shows that I'm watching right now, be it Shangri-La, Frieren, Shield Hero. First episode always had something that made me want to watch the next one. Not so much in this case. This episode could just as well have been an OVA to the first season. OVA 1, that's it, just released, and that's it, that's all there is to it. So I think that's why. An interesting detail I noticed, using my little thing that I use to remember the names of the characters, because there's a lot of them in some of the shows. It's listed as an unknown amount of episodes. So I wonder if it's TBA, if it's TBD, or I don't think it's gonna turn into a weekly, but I wonder if it's going to be 12, 13 episodes, or maybe 24. That would be nice. Plenty of shows this season that are multiple course long, right? Frieren is 28 episodes. Shangri-La, I think, is also 24. It's nice. Maybe not nice for me, because the next season is already taken by those shows that will carry over. But it's nice for me as a viewer. Sorry for that. It's nice for me as a viewer because I have more to watch. So I wonder what's the case with Saihate no Paladin. Right. I think that does it for the intro. What do I expect from today's episode? First episode didn't really lead me in any direction, so anything can happen. I mean, the first frame I see is Zaryu Sushasha from Overlord or something, and I think the first episode ended with a hook of some sort. They need to go somewhere to deal with those lizard people, something thereabouts. So maybe there is something. Maybe there is something that can carry us over to this episode. So we will probably deal with whatever the first episode mentioned we're gonna deal with. Enough talking. I've been talking for 10 minutes already. That's enough. Let's just watch it. To do that, you will of course need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel monetarily on Patreon or YouTube, linked down below or not. From my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching episode 2 of season 2 of Saihate no Paladin in 3, 2, 1, go. See, this is how episode 1 should have started. This should have been episode 1. Looks like garbage, but sure. Wait, is this episode 2? It is episode 2. I thought that I maybe mistakenly started episode 3 or something, but no. Okay. I'm glad that we actually get some proper animation. Season 1 really suffered because of that. Because of slideshows and sliding PNGs. So I'm really glad that we get some genuinely nice animation here. It's nothing, you know, mind-breaking, but it's serviceable animation. Yeah, I remember seeing it in episode 1, and my biggest criticism being, why the fuck is there so much film grain on it? Like, I know that this show likes using those effects, right? Likes using chromatic aberration, which I really like, so I don't mind that. Likes using this, like, grungy texture, likes using film grain, but there's a point where you just kind of overuse it. And I feel like this is the point. I wonder if there's a way to remove that film grain and see how it would have looked like without it. Probably some, I don't know, AI tool or whatever. Has a face. Lord of Holy. Immediate Ancient Magus Bride vibes. Magic tree with a face, Lord of Holy. Something for a paladin. Dead. Okay. How do you know Will? How do you know Menel? Kernunos. That's a Gaelic deity, right? Together with like Antumnos, Britannos, there's Kernunos. And it's because of Kernunos, I assume. Is dying. Oh, has gone mad. Okay. Hmm. Very Celtic. Okay. So, forgive the comparison, but kind of like in My Little Pony, where where Luna blocked the transfer from night to day. Okay. So probably because of Kernunos. I mean, that is an option. But you're just a half-elf. Yep. Fair. Yep. To get rid of evil and spread the good. Congratulations, Menel, you have become the king of the forest. Or will become. Fair. I wonder if it's something that was shown there in the source material that was just omitted from the anime for brevity. There we go. A seal of Koli. CG monsters. Is he going to reject it again, I wonder? Maybe not. Okay. So I guess the communication was severed. That's why he didn't accept the rule. Yeah, the best spell in William's repertoire. Shut the fuck up. Kinda. Easy. Very easy. I'm glad that Will didn't give him time to, like, monologue. It's been 10 minutes. We're, like, blazing through it. That's a very nice forest. To him it is. Oh, I like the holy in his hair. Right. Okay, so like, what? He can eventually turn into a full-blown elf or something? Okay, that seems fine. You will become the other king of the forest. Yeah, the Rust Mountains. The subtitle of this season. Mm-hmm. Some sort of a demon general? Demon lord? Something thereabouts? That's gonna be useful. Fair. William does have some, obligations. Money? Or something else? Okay, money. That's probably gonna be the most useful so far. Right now, rather. Another one. I need a court twink. A royal advisor. Like always. What incident? Oh, the words of the Lord of Holy. growing forests. This episode is very uneven, pacing-wise. I was about to ask, could it be that some dwarves still live around there? Yeah, I guess. Sure. You don't need to worry about, stray civilians catching the tip of your spear. Or better yet, we're gonna take you with us. Oh, I guess that's not necessary. But they rusted. Uprising, so not by demons themselves. Oh, okay, uprising against the demons. Gotcha. I thought some sort of an internal strife or uprising against the country or something. Yeah, nobody to talk about it. Good old racism? Mm-hmm. True. If there is somebody they would be willing to open up to, it would probably be the lord of the land who took them in and helped them and whatnot, right? Do the dwarves not live in the city? Yeah. I mean, he already did that once at the end of the first season. He hasn't decided yet. That's not a given. Or to live like a human. Yeah. So he chooses the Fey path so that he can witness all of it. Yeah, I was about to say, you already did enough. That's your city, isn't it? Or where are you? Oh, right, they were returning from the capital to the torchport. Okay, gotcha. I thought they were on the way from the torchport from their original city, from Will's territory to where the dwarves live. Hmm. I'm having issues with pacing that I didn't have in the first season. Parts of this episode were incredibly fast. Just, event, 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 event. And then you had talking. And then you had a part that was actually paced decently. It's extremely uneven. I wonder if now that we have an actual proper goal, is the pacing gonna even out? Or how's it gonna work? After credits? Or no, the preview, the last king, probably Dwarven King. We're headed to Moria. Okay, how about we watch it again? Shall we? Yes, we shall. This came out of nowhere. Actually, let me quickly take a look at episode 1. I'm just gonna quickly scrub through it. Yeah, it ended with It ended with Will coming back with Robina. And nothing that would show us the continuation. And the first part didn't, you know, set up episode 2 either. Yeah, I really thought we just got dropped in. First of all, I really thought that I just skipped an episode. That I just mistakenly started episode 3. Because this was at the end of episode 1, just a still image of this gate, and that's it, and the Mad Forest title. And what's going on? So then we get this bit, right? Oh, right, flashback. A few days ago on the summer solstice. So I thought, oh, okay, sure, that's, understandable. We were dropped in medias res, so now we're gonna get an explanation how we got here. But no, we didn't really. We got just dropped again in medias res. Forrest is dying. Prince Ethel asked him to find out why is it happening, and Forrest is going, huh? It's just a, how do you pronounce it? Deluge? What's the pronunciation? Deluge is a BitTorrent client. Deluge is a online scripting language, so no, it's not the word I'm looking for. I don't know, man. A lot is what I wanted to say. A complete barrage of things happening out of nowhere. Now, I like what's happening, for the most part. The fight is actually, decently animated. It's not gonna blow my ass off, but it's some decent animation. Better than the slideshows and sliding PNGs of season 1, that's for sure. We get to see Will fight again. We get to see Menel fight. That's cool. That's fun. But suddenly we get information. Oh, Lord of the Forest is ahead. Huh? What? Who? And there we have it. The big tree. Oh, that's the Lord of the Forest. Why are you here, though? Oh, there's blasphemous words here, and there's Kernunos here. Why is he here? How's he here? How does he know Will and Menel? What's going on? Also, Kernunos. Gaelic deity? Yeah, Celtic and Gallo-Roman. Kernunos or Karnanos, god depicted with antlers, seated cross-legged, and is associated with stags, horned serpents, dogs, and bulls. Shown holding or wearing a torque and having a bag of coins. He's a deity of what? Kernunos comes from Karnon, which means horn or antler. Just just a Celtic deity, I guess, of nothing of particular import, it would seem. Okay, sure. Snakes don't have horns. He's not real Cernunnos. Snowdrops blooming out of season. Yeah, so things are going fucky-wacky. I think I know why I have an issue with this flashback, because it's telling instead of showing. I saw snowdrops bloom, right? It's just Will narrating it instead of, like, I know, Will crouching down, taking that snowdrop in his hand and telling Menel, hey, yo, they shouldn't be blooming this time of year, something's wrong. Right? And then them going back to the city, or maybe finding out that the apples or whatever it was shown is rotting on the ground, and they shouldn't be. The trees are dead like in winter, but it's not winter, it's summer solstice. Something's wrong here. They come back to the city, messenger appears saying, hey, Crown Prince Ethel of White Sails asks for you. And they go there to White Sails, and Ethel tells them, actually, the thing that's happening in your land is kind of happening everywhere. The forest has gone mad. Could you go and figure out what's going on? But we just get all of it just as Will's narration. That's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work, I think. A lot of talking, not a lot of showing. And if you think about it, there's a lot of that going on in this episode. Like, this whole scene is just Menel talking to us about the details of what's going on. Here we get some details of what's wrong. The Lord of Holy doesn't want the power for whatever reason. The communication has been severed between those two. And Menel takes on this burden on himself for a month or so. And then we just skip over that. Again, with just Will's narration. I don't know what happened in there, what hardships Menel went through, or what he overcame, yada yada yada, and Menel just comes out with... Actually, it's not just Holy, there is Oak on the outside and Holy in the middle. And we jump back in, we still don't know why Cernunnos is here, and the solution isn't even to fight, it's not even like, oh, Cernunnos put the Lord of Holy to sleep, we need to defeat Cernunnos first. No, it turns out that it was just a fucking Wi-Fi issue, and Menel had to carry a USB stick to update the Lord of Holy. Like, physically. Because it couldn't be transferred over the air. That's essentially what's going on here. Touches it, oh, all the monsters are just dead. Solved, no problem. I still really enjoy the magic system, though. I gotta say. Just words of magic and Will's most powerful spell, shut the fuck up. Yeah, I really enjoy this magic system because the spell of shut the fuck up breaks someone's chant, and that breaks the spell. It doesn't just fizzle out the spell. Maybe it does. If you cast the shut the fuck up spell early, then the spell just fizzles out. But when you break the chant later on, the spell just blows up in the caster's face. I really like it. I really, really do. And then we get... not really much of a fight, is it? Just a struggle. Comparable to, like, one character shooting a green beam, the other character shooting a red beam, the beams meet in the middle, and... right? And then it blows up. Not much of a fight. nicely animated for what it is, sure. But ultimately, it's just them just pushing each other. Karunos died, and that's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. Order has been restored. Menel can become more of a fae and become the Lord of the Forest eventually if he wants to. And there's a lot of talking about that. And there's Calamity in the forest, in the mountains. And that's it. That's 11 minutes in. We already defeated a boss, got the power of a god, saved a forest, completed an investigation given to us by the king. Menel now became more of a fae, and we get a new plot point. That's fast. That's a lot of shit going on in very short time. And then we get into this whole segment. It's just talking. There's a calamity going on. Talking. Hey, do you know where the calamity is coming from? No, I don't really know anything about the Rust Mountains. The dwarves, there's the dwarven backstory, right? The dwarves lived there. They started an uprising against the demons, and were wiped out. And there are barely any witnesses. Whoever exists that is a witness isn't really, likely to talk about it. Yeah, I know why I thought that we are in the Torch Port. Because we're talking with Robina in a tavern. And last we saw Robina and Will, they were going to the Torch Port, to their city. So I would have assumed that Robina is still there. But apparently Robina is in the capital now. And now we go back to the Torch City. There's a lot of omission here. It really feels like we are skipping chapters at times. And then we also have plenty of those like slow conversations. Talking about the future, talking about whether Menel wants to be a Lord of the Forest or not, talking about what's gonna happen after Will's passing, that, hey, maybe when you pass, just fading into the forest wouldn't be that bad, because I would become a tree, I would become a forest, I would be able to take care of your children would make a swing on my branches, maybe I would plant myself on top of your grave, or hey, make your grave by the tree so that when I become the Lord of the Forest, I'm gonna be keeping, watch over it. That's a really nice, deep conversation between them, and I like it. But I'm really getting mixed signals here. I'm really getting mixed signals. Okay. So, to reiterate, I'm really getting mixed signals because, actually, let's see if maybe perhaps, if Annulist doesn't have any info about the amount of episodes, maybe Mal has it. Annulist lists it as, unknown amount of episodes. What about Mal? What about Mal? Mal also doesn't know how many episodes there's gonna be. So, yeah. this episode really gave me those like mixed signals, because on one hand we have this like extremely fast-paced first half that's just constant barrage of events and of stuff happening, as if this season was limited to 12 episodes and they want to tell some sort of a complete story, so they're just fast forwarding through the less important bits. For example, kind of like Shield Hero Season 2, where they kind of skipped over the Tortoise arc. They just fast forwarded through it. And that would be fine. But on the other hand, we have those long-winded talks where I just sit there and I don't really have anything to say because they're just talking. They're just talking and not really making much of a point of anything, as if this show was supposed to be a slow burn of 24 episodes where we can take our time going through the forest, talking, akin to Frieren, for example. And then we get moments like meeting with Robina in the tavern that are paced well. Talking with Robina in the tavern was probably the moment that I had the least issues with. So I wonder what the flying fuck is going on here. Season 1 was paced well. In my opinion at least, Season 1's issue, as far as I'm concerned, was that it just did not have a good art to it. It did not have enough, budget, enough time, maybe. But what it did have is good story, good characters, decent pacing. So what happened? Did the director change? Ha, indeed. Indeed. Season 1 was directed by Yu Nobuta, who also directed... what else? Yusha Yamemas, Kuma 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 Bear, Bang Dream, Code Geass, couple of episodes. Not much. And this season is directed by Akira Iwanaga, who also directed, oddly enough, Arifureta. Actually, is it oddly enough? Arifureta did have some issues with skipping over the less important bits, so to speak. Especially Season 2. Season 1 didn't, as far as I can recall, though. Yeah, what happened? What happened? I hope that it is the case of essentially Tortoise arc from Shield Hero Season 2, where the creators of the anime just want to skip through it, just want to fast forward through it, because the subtitle of this season is The Lord of Rust Mountains, so we need to fast forward to the Rust Mountains, and then the story will truly begin. I hope this is the case. I hope those issues don't continue throughout the show. But it's not just pacing that's an issue. The being able to place events in space and time, that's another problem I have here. Like Robina right? Last we saw Robina, she was in the Torch City. So, despite the time skip that wasn't really clear, she should be, as far as we know, still in the port city because it wasn't said otherwise. So we assume that when they talk with her, they are in the port city, in the Torch City. But they aren't. They're in the capital. And that creates a lot of dissonance, right? You believe that, you think that you know what's going on, but then it turns out you don't really. It really goes against a lot of like storytelling best practices and writing best practices. Show, don't tell, being the biggest of them all. There's a lot of telling in this episode in particular. The rule of, once you placed a character somewhere, they are there until said otherwise. Characters don't just teleport randomly. There should be at least some mention, so that the viewer, the reader, whatever, is able to build a mind map of the world, of where the characters are, what they're doing, who they are. If you start fucking around with it, it stops working. And it seems wild. It really seems wild because those are such, like, basic bitch things. You don't need to go to the university to study fucking, English literature to learn about it. It's something you learn in primary school in the creative writing exercise. What the fuck happened? Actually, let me check out the script. Although season 1 doesn't have a script writer listed, season 1 has a script for episode 1, 2, and 3 listed. And that's it. So I'm not gonna get anything out of it. I don't know, man. Again, I hope that from the next episode forward it's gonna get better, but I'm kinda not getting my hopes up. Everything still screams low budget to me. Right? Animation might be better and whatnot, but the opening being just mostly scenes from season 1 with filmic grain on them. Most of this episode consisting of talking heads. It would be a shame. It would really be a shame. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything more to say on the topic. But maybe you guys do. Maybe you have something more to add about this episode. How do you like it? What did you think of my reaction, my theories, if I had any? Stuff like that. Say that in the comments down below. No spoilers, please, for the source material. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord is here also in the description below. And like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Saihate no Paladin, but also Shield Hero Season 3. Highly recommend, it's amazing. Shangri-La Frontier, plenty of others, Magia Record, etc., etc., Free Ren, and so on. I also stream sometimes, so click the bell to be notified of when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magia Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube directly via memberships, super thanks, stuff like that, also below. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do the good stuff. And I'm Gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without the Net, The Couple Survivors, Zayrainer, Shoshu Akama, Sir Fassel, David, Dr. Wood, Marshy Kayla, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to turn into a tree.